Hello, my dear children and parents. Welcome to class 9th of Indus Valley Public School RAT, where we will be doing poem 4 from your beehive. The name of the poem is Rain on the Roof, composed by Coates Kinney. So, my dear children, rain. Now, rainy season is going to arrive, isn't it? So everybody will observe this poem, the lines of the poem in your rainy season. So here, as the title of the poem, Rain on the Roof, we can make out that the poem is about the rain. The poet is telling us about the memories he has for the rain. The sound of the raindrops falling on the roof of his house, bringing back sweet and sour memories of the past. The poem appreciates the music of nature, natural rain, and the effect it has on human emotions and imaginations. The sounds and the lyrics of the rain are described in a rhythmical and alluring manner to help soothe and amuse the heart and mind of the reader. Okay? So, my dear children, before we start with the poem, let's go with the poet of the poem. So, who is the poet? Coates Kinney. So, he is your Coates Kinney, and he was born on 24th November 1826 at Quaker Lake in Yates County, New York. He was an American lawyer, politician, journalist, and poet who wrote Rain on the Roof. At the age of 13, the family moved to Ohio, where Kinney showed that he had a strong thirst for learning. He had temporary periods of employment in a woolen factory and a sawmill, but he saw better things ahead for himself. He left this world on January 25th, 1904. So this is all about the poet. Now moving to the poem. Rain on the Roof. So when the sky is covered with dark clouds and it starts raining, have you ever listened to the patter of the soft rain on the roof? What thoughts flashed through your mind as you heard this melody of nature? Read the poem to find out what the poet dreamed of while listening to the rain. Okay? So this time, I think everybody is going to observe each and every sound of the rain after reading this poem, isn't it? Okay. Now moving to the first stanza of the poem. So here is your first stanza. When the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in the rainy tears, what a bliss to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and lie listening to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So, my dear children, in this stanza, the poet is resting in his cottage room when he observed the dark raining, bearing cloud engulf or surrounded the night sky. The darkness is fearful and makes the poet desolate, isolated, and depressed. Melancholy means sad. Okay, so starry spheres, it means he's looking at the dark cloud in the night, and all this thing makes the poet isolated and he is depressed. Okay, why is something dark? What the dark represent? Dark represent the sadness. So he is feeling depressed. Okay, in such feeling of sadness, the poet buries himself in the pillow and immerses himself in the musical pattern of dropping rain. So he is saying that in this sadness, whatever he is having this sadness in his memory or somewhere, in order to get rid of them, all that memory, all that sadness, he himself bury inside the pillow. जैसे आप अपने पिलो के ऊपर सिर के ऊपर पिलो रख लेते हो, उसके अंदर घुस जाते हो, that way. Okay, and he is having immense, or you can say a deep, he is enjoying the immense or the deep musical pattern of the dropping rain. So whenever the drops are falling on the roof, so he is now understanding and enjoying the pattern of that drops. The poet observed the interplay between the droplets and the shingles. Shingles here means you can say block of tiles. Okay, so you here in the stanza it is told that when the humid shadow hover, means dark clouds which are full of water. Okay, so poet is saying that when the sky is full of these clouds which are moisture laden, are full of water and are about to bring rain, when such clouds are around the sky over the stereosphere, stereospheres means refers to the sky at night time which is full of star. Okay, at that time huge clouds which are full of moisture move around in the sky and the sad darkness of the night is wiped off. जब बारिश होगी तो वो clouds हट जाएंगे ना, that it is told here. So why it is wiped off? Because it's raining, all that cloud is rained. So the darkness of the night is wiped off by the raindrops which seem like tears falling from the sky. The poet is comparing here the raindrops to tears, and he says that the dark sky which seemed to be sad. Why sad? Because it's a dark. The darkness refers to the sadness. So it appears as if it is crying, and the raindrops are tears shed by it. He adds that it is like a blessing to lie on the bed in his room and to listen the sound made by the raindrop falling on the roof. So he is saying he is not outside, he is inside his room and he is enjoying the raindrops that are falling. So here in the stanza it is told that whenever there is a cloud, it will make the sky dark, and dark represent the sadness. So when that cloud when there is rain, so it will wipe off the sadness. वो clouds चले जाएंगे, वो sadness चली जाएगी. How? Because it will rain, and here raindrops are compared to the tears. तो बादल से आंसू गिर रहे हैं. जब हम रो लेते, जब हमें कोई दुख होता है, whenever we are sad and when we cry off, then our heart become light. The same way it is told that the sky will be clear when the clouds will rain, and this rain is compared to the tears and it will become clear. So now poet is saying that he is enjoying the musical raindrops that are falling on his roof. Okay, children, some of the poetic devices are here. You can say alliteration is there, like humid hour, HH is there, stereosphere, SS. Then you can say press pillow, PP is there. Then listening, lie listening, so LL. So alliteration is used. I'll give you the brief in next video, but in the explanation you can see it. So alliteration is used in the stanza where humid hour, then stereosphere, and then you can see in next line press pillow, cottage chamber, CC, lie listening. So these are your alliteration is there, and the rhyme scheme is, you can say A, B, C, B. Okay, A, B, C, B, then D, E, F, E. So A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. How? Hour, sphere, different sound, and darkness, different sound, but sphere, tears, same sound is there. So A, B, C, B. Clear? This is your rhyme scheme. Now one more new figure of speech is there, onomatopoeia. I think I have given this word previously also. Children, onomatopoeia. This is the use of the sound words to create a dramatic effect and auditory imagery. That means whenever any natural sound is represented in the poem, that becomes onomatopoeia, like patter, thunder. So these are the words, these are natural words, okay. Thunder एक nature की आवाज़ है, patter rainfall की आवाज़ है, okay. So when we find these kind of sound, these kind of word, then this word is coming under the category of onomatopoeia in poetic device. So what is the name? Onomatopoeia, okay, patter. So here you find the word patter. Patter is onomatopoeia. Now children, here personification is also used. How? Darkness has been personified when he says that it is sad. So melancholy is represented to the darkness. So here personification is used, okay. Then transferred epithet is that. So what do you mean by transferred epithet? The use of an adjective with a noun when it refers to another noun, like melancholy darkness. So darkness is not melancholy. Darkness sad नहीं है, but it refers to the people. किसको refer कर रहे हैं? People को refer कर रहे हैं. So transferred epithet is there. In which word? Melancholy, darkness. Okay. So these are the poetic devices used in this stanza number 1. Now coming to the stanza number 2. Every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollections weave their air thread into woof, and I listen to the patter of the rain upon the roof. So my dear children, in the stanza, tinkle means short, light, ringing sound. Shingles, it is a rectangular, you can say wooden tiles on the roof. Echo, I know, everybody knows, it's a sound, repeatedly sound जो कि एक empty room में आवाज़ जो गूंजती है, that way. Then woof, the thread woven across the loom, जो हम लोग बुनते हैं एक loom में जो thread लगाते हैं, that is woof. Patter, again a rain sound that is falling on the roof. And busy being, a word is used over here in your 1, 2, 3, 4th line. It expresses, or you can say it refers to the human being, okay. So here a busy being is set to for the human being, and here human being is who? It is the poet, okay. So here busy being is used for the poet himself. So now coming to the explanation. So in this stanza, the poet is expressing his feelings when he hears the raindrops falling on the roof of his house. He says that every tinkle on the shingles, means every drop on the top of the roof, has an echo in his heart. So whatever drop is falling on the roof, that is creating echo in his heart. So whenever he hears rain falling on the rooftop, the sound repeats in his heart and in his dreams. He has many different fanciful imagination. He adds that his sound, this sound of the rain falling on the roof create many new different dreams in his mind. He recollects many memories of the past which come back into his mind as dreams. He says that as he listened to the patter of the rain upon the roof, he has many new dreams in his mind, and the memories of the past come back in the form of dreams. Okay, so here in the second stanza, it is told every time, like whenever any drop is falling on the top of the roof, it creates an echo in his heart, and every time he is recollecting past memories, and these memories is converted into dreams. Thousands of collections are there, and these collections are whooped together. They came together, and then he again listened to the sound of the rain, the patter of the rain that is falling on the top of the roof of his room, of his cottage. Okay. So now coming to the poetic devices, literary devices of this stanza. Again the alliteration is there, busy being, repetition of B is there. Their thread, TT, their thread you can find I think in line number third last line, and rain roof is there. Okay, arc repetition is there. So that way here alliteration. Onomatopoeia, again patter sound is there, tinkle sound is there. So both these words are onomatopoeia. Personification, why? Because it is recollection. It's personified when he says that they weave streams. So recollection is for the weaving of the dreams. So again the personification is there. Then transferred epithet. What is transferred epithet? The use of an adjective with a noun when it is refers to another noun. तो एक adjective जब एक noun से दूसरे noun को refer किया जाता है, उस समय क्या बनता है? Transferred epithet. So it is a two new poetic device you have learnt, onomatopoeia and transferred epithet. Okay. So which word is having transferred epithet? Dreamy fancies. Why? It does not mean that fancy are dreamy, but refers to the people who have a dreams. Okay. तो जिनके पास dreams होते हैं उनको यहाँ पर refer किया गया उन people को. So it becomes transferred epithet. Okay. Fine. So my dear children, now moving to your third stanza. Okay. Now in memory comes my mother. So now in the stanza he is describing his mother who is not alive right now. So now in my memory comes my mother as she used in year agone to regard the darling dreamers ere she left them till the dawn. Oh, I feel her fond look on me as I listen to this refrain, which is played upon the shingles by the patter of the rain. So, or is the old word that means before, dawn means morning, and the refrain here being the sound of the rain. Okay, it's a repeated part of the song of a poem, but here it is for the rain. So now in the stanza, the poet is introducing his mother, and he says that he is dreaming now of his mother. As he had told in the previous stanza, the rain brings memories of the past. So it is the memory of his mother in this stanza, who is no longer alive. So in the past, she used to love him a lot. She used to consider him as a darling child, and she would let him sleep till daybreak, till morning, and have sweet dreams. The poet can still feel that his mother is looking at him, and he listened to the song made by the raindrop falling on the rooftop of his room. The sound of the rain makes him recollect or correlate his past with his present. That is why the poet is moved by the sound of the raindrops on the shingles of his room. So whenever he hears this sound, bring back memories of the past, and he is reminded of his mother. Okay, so again we can say that in the stanza the poet is recollecting the memories that he shared with his mother. He is sharing the love, care that his mother used to shower on him. She used to allow him to sleep till the morning. She used to love him like anything. She used to continuously look at him. She used to sing when he is sleeping. And when the raindrop is falling, he is finding the song that his mother used to sing in the raindrops. So he have n number of memories in the sound of the rain on the drops that is falling on the roof. Okay, fine. So here again the alliteration is there. Memory, my mother, M's, repetition. Darling dreamer, D. Onomatopoeia, patter. Okay, and again the rhyme scheme I've already told in the first stanza, same. A, B, C, B, D, E, F, E. The same repetition in all the three stanza is there. So this is all about the poem, my dear children. Go through the poem. I again want to tell you something that in this poem. So here finally in the poem, the poet gives an assessment of the music he has been listening to, the patter of the rain. For him it is divine and truthful, much more powerful than the music created by man synthetically. Okay, so he is saying that here, because the rain, the sound that is made by the rain generate or create different kinds of memories in his mind. Okay, so for him it is much more truthful, much more divine. It is organically soft and calm and not loud. It dominates all other sounds, but with a sense of serenity, peacefulness and refined. Yet the emotional response that nature's melodious notes stimulate are more potent and powerful than the man-made sound. It is invigorating or refreshing, curative or remedial, and emotionally gratifying for the poet. Not only for the poet, for everyone. Okay, so we can say that this poem gives a remedial or a relaxation way if we love the nature. If we find a goodness in the nature, then each and everything will give you the relaxation from your tiredful or from your busy life. So the poet wants to deliver that love the nature, find happiness in the nature. Okay, my dear children, go through the poem, learn the poetic devices that is used in the poem. I'll give you the descriptive in your next video. Till then, go ahead, read the poem, understand, get the explanation. Any doubt, please do call me. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.